Salam, shalom. Wise Zeus here. All praises to the horizon. Peace and wisdom. Now I want to do this quick video explaining heritage. Or whatever you would call putting an end to black Americans or black people in general. Black Americans, because this ain't Africans. This is black Americans. But to put an end to black Americans arguing back and forth about if we're from Africa or if we're from America. So I want to explain this as simple as possible. That way everyone moving forward, can have a clear understanding. And it's important because, it's an insult to all of our generations coming up, meaning these arguments have been going on for generations. It's a disrespect to us, meaning all of us that's presently at whatever age we at, and it's a disrespect to the generations that's to come. You got 7, 8-year-olds right now that when they turn 25, it's going to be the same argument, which basically just proves as a people we lost, And so, like I said, I want to explain this. That way everyone can have some sense of understanding. Now, if I'm not clear or it's too windy or something, let me know. That way I can make the proper adjustments. Of course, visit my website, upscaleknowledge.org, and check out my services, my lecture magazines, my blogs, so on and so forth. That's at upscaleknowledge.org. Peace and wisdom, J Hall and Griffmatic. Okay, it's good, I'm clear. It's a nice little breeze out here. I wasn't sure if it was interfering with the sound. But if it does, like I said, let me know immediately and I'll make the proper adjustments. Now, before I go into this video, I want to give you guys a jewel in regards to in the daytimes, if you watch like online or just anything going on, if you watch, you'll see like y'all are being advised to like cut your people off or do this or that so you can succeed and make it or whatever the case may be. And if you're young, that's not how things go. You want to clean yourself up. And as you clean yourself up, you get my point? Whatever negative attachments or whatever negative things are attached to you, you get my point? They'll fall off on their own. Don't get lost into, chasing success or chasing this thing or that thing or trying to be lit online and you adopt these foolish philosophies. You get my point? What you want to do, like I said, what you want to do is make sure you do work on self. So let's say things ain't going good for you or however you want them to go. And so you're looking outside of yourself for the problem. In people, circumstances, this thing or that thing. Don't do that. Look within, clear up whatever flaws you have mentally, emotionally, and physically. Meaning start catering to whatever flaws you notice that you may have or whatever, things about self are disturbance to self, and work on those things. And as you clean self up or better yourself, Whatever things that are attached to you that's negative, they'll fall away on their own. If you need an example, let's say you drink. And of course, you have all your friends and, whatever associations you have through drinking. Now, let's say you clean yourself up, you stop drinking. Whoever's your drinking buddy, you and them are slowly going to start to fall out because y'all not going to have anything to communicate about truly. You get my point? The things you going to be talking about and the things you going to be wanting to do is going to contrast with y'all drinking. Of course, you don't drink anymore, so you get my point? You ain't going to want to hear that. They not going to want to hear whatever you talking about. And do you get my point? Just your cleaning yourself or whatever little flaw you may have, like I said, whatever's negative, it'll fall away on its own. And it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It can be a mindset. Maybe you have a certain mindset, and of course you have, the people and other things that, y'all are bound through this mindset. But let's say they not necessarily, positive or good for you. When you change your mindset, well, you get my point. Y'all will naturally start to part, slowly or fast. And you get my point? You don't have to do the work in regards to anything outside of self. You just have to bring it in and do the work on self. And you get my point? The work that you do on self, it will alter or change the reality, The same way if, you start adding flaws to self, mentally, emotionally, or however, it's going to alter the state of your reality. And that, you get my point? Always reflect on self. Always do whatever work you need to do on yourself. In that, you'll attract the things that's suitable or made for the better you. So look at it like that. You can be many different outcomes of self. You could be your lowest self, your highest self, your regular middle self. And you get my point? However you are, whichever state of self you're in, it attracts whatever it does. And so you get my point? Your higher self has things that goes along with it. But you can't attract it right now because you're not in that state of mind and, that state of being. It's all simple. It's all a vibration of self. The vibration of self is the mind. This is basically the source that the words and thoughts is coming from. So it's all a soul thing. But hopefully it helps some of y'all that's young, I know y'all tune in online and y'all hear so many different things that contrast. And so if you young, just understand that the older people and the younger people that you watch online, everyone's just speaking from their own experience or their own opinion. They may be, everyone is just speaking to manipulate the younger generations and the older ones if they can to see things from their perspective. And overall, we all have to evolve beyond our own selfish and personal perspectives as well as the perspectives of others and kind of get the true perspective that was intended for us all to have. Meaning we all supposed to have the same understanding because we all in the same life. But you get my point? We live in Babylon, so in Babylon, people live trends, and these trends change, and these ideals change, daily, monthly, yearly, however, and you get my point? The people become all over the place. Some of y'all are on this mindset, others of y'all are on that mindset, so on and so forth, and you get my point? It makes for an abundance of chaos or disorder. And so if you young, you gotta live life, and you get my point? As you live and experience, you can kind of figure things out on your own if you ain't got a whole bunch of noise in your head. But once you get the noise in your head, all the excess opinions, well, whatever you had to think about anything concerning self gonna get drowned out in that. And so you get my point? When you get a certain age, we speaking about those of y'all that's grown, but you're young still. I'm not talking about like teenagers. There's a whole different set of knowledge and, understanding for y'all. But in regards to young adults, the same way you become dependent and start to make your own decisions in regards to your parents, you got to look at the whole world like that, where you can't no longer depend on the world's opinion or decisions for you. When I say decisions for you, of course, we live in a society, and that society has ideals and a perspective that we should all live. Kind of like toy soldiers or robots in the society, and we all just do whatever the ideals of the society say we should do at any given time. You want to evolve beyond those things. So, like I said, the same way you have the mindset, like, I don't have to listen to my parents no more because I'm grown, I got to figure out things on my own. You got to kind of do that with the whole society, meaning your friends, everybody. That's not to say you can't take advice or get a perspective here or there, but that's to say overall, your mind has to understand that you have to live out whatever decisions you make. So it's best you make them and not depend so much on others' opinions or, whatever they think. Their life is their own, and you get my point? Everybody has to live out their truth, which is their life. Now, in regards to the video's title, like I said, there's an argument, a never-ending argument between black Americans about where we're from, Africa or America. And of course, you have the Hebrew Israelites amongst us that say, I guess we supposed to be from Israel. And you get my point? And that if you're a young black person, you born, you come into this world or this society, and you get my point. Your race is telling you 50,000 different things. You like, I don't know who I'm supposed to be listening to. Because when you young, you don't understand nothing. The young just understand following. So, right to the young is majority. In that, you get my point? That's how peer pressure kind of works. And you can always manipulate that power, which a lot of people do. Meaning they manipulate the power of peer pressure, which is people get, kind of put into a position. People kind of get put into a position where they feel like they got to do this thing or that thing because the majority is doing it. And usually that works on little kids, but, it can transcend over to adults as well, to where they never evolve in mind and they kind of still, go along with that whole majority outlook thing. And so when you're dealing with, let's say, nationality, when you're dealing with nationality, this younger generation, y'all got to learn manners. It's a deep thing. A lot of y'all too old to kind of not have a common sense in mind. But I'll get to that when I finish. That's not in regards to anything, that anybody did on the live or anything. I'm talking about just in regards to, like, the outer environment. Y'all are like intrusive and a little slow at the same time. But you gotta be rude to y'all to be like, can you get lost? But in any event, you have the argument, America Now, as I was saying, you have, let's start with nationality. Nationality has to do with birthplace. So you have many different places. When I say places, I'm speaking like countries. You got many different countries on earth. Of course, you have more now than you did in the past, but it's always the same. And so nationality has to do with place, meaning the place you was born in, the name of that place. Of course, indigenous people, they're before, countries is developed in names. So in regards to them, they don't have that. They have tribe names, and you get my point? Regular life way. But in regards to nationalities, this have to do with, you know, the people of Babylon or the people that's in the countries. Hold on right quick. My bad. And now, like I was saying, where was I at? I'm sorry. Somebody asked me something. Um, I'm sorry. He asked me a question, threw me off. It broke my concentration, but you can't get mad, I attract people, meaning I could go to the ends of the earth and be somewhere that's the most isolated place on earth, and I guarantee you somebody will mosey right on up and take a squat right by me. But I guess I gotta learn to be more accepting to that, because it's truly a blessing, to have people kind of trust you when they don't even know you, but they like, I'm gonna go around him. I don't know why, but I am. It always happens. Now, like I said, in regards to nationality, this has to do with birthplace. Your nationality does not have to do with your race. Your race has to do with your genealogy and, the group of people or the breed of people that you come from. Now, making that clear, meaning nationality has to do with place and the name given to a place. Now, remember, all the countries and the names they have was made up by people. They not real. In that, a person could never tell you, like, genetically, it's proven that we're from Africa, because Africa is just a name that was made up and given to an area. In that, you could never prove that anybody's from Africa, because Africa ain't nothing but a made up name. You get my point? Let's say somebody say, I took a DNA test and it proved that I'm from Africa or I'm African. That's impossible, because Africa is just a made up name for a place. And the name probably going to change in the future, just like it hasn't always been Africa. So how can you be African on a gene level? You get it? It's not possible. But you have agendas. And so you get my point? If the agenda is black people need to think they're from Africa, any dumb thing will be said. Whoever doesn't have, a great deal of intellect, so they'll fall into it. They'll say, yeah, that sounds pretty deep. Like, yeah, we are from Africa. We are Africans. But that's just a made up name. It has nothing to do with who you are as a person or your genes, meaning your genealogy in the breed of people that you come from. There is no breed of people called Africa. Like how they try to make it like, like Africa is a nationality or a race, and Africa's not neither, meaning Africa's not a country. Country has to do with nationality. So let's say you're from Israel, then you're an Israeli if you were born there. Your parents could have been born somewhere else, but nationality have to do with where you're born. Race has to do with, the breed of people you come from, but nationality is that simple. In that, a person could be Chinese and their parents can have been born in China, but they was born in America. Nationality wise, they're an American, which I would call an American citizen. Now, of course, we use these names loosely, so we say Chinese people. And you get my point? Overlooking that's just the name that was given to a place. In regards to who the people are on a gene level, well, that don't have nothing to do with the name. That have more to do with, blood type and other things like that. So you kind of have to look at it in that way. Damn, it's noisy over here today. I apologize. He kind of just disturbed my focus. I'm over here to take a bath for no reason. Put the camera on. He came over here to take a whole bath for nothing. All this water, nigga gotta be dirty here. I apologize. Where was I at? Broke my focus. And so, like I said, nationality has to do with birthplace. And of course, birthplace have to do with the names of countries. When you're dealing with Africa, Africa is not a country, so technically no one can be African nationality-wise. That's the name of the continent. When you're dealing with America, well, the continent is called America, and the country is called United States of America, meaning all the states in America is countries. And America is the continent. So New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Miami, these are countries. But the countries are all unified as one state or one country. In that, you get my point? You have America, the continent, and then you have United States of America, which is the country, which consists of a bunch of countries that stand as one. When you go to South America, well, you have a bunch of countries, and the people refer to themselves as whatever country they came by. Not necessarily as South American, but they refer to themselves as whatever country they came from. Brazilian, Venezuelan, whatever. And so I'm saying that so you can have clarity. Nationality just has to do with the country you were born in. But that has absolutely nothing to do with your race. In that, if you was not born in a country in Africa, you're not African. Again, your parents can be born in one place and you be born in the next place. And nationality wise, you wherever you was born. You need an example? You can be born in Atlanta and your parents born in New York. You don't have the right to say you're a New Yorker because your parents come from New York. That's not your right to claim. I'll say it again, because a lot of y'all have that reality. You were born in one state, your parents was born in another. Remember, the states is all countries. Now, your parents was born in New York and you was born in Atlanta, which is a reality that many people have. You can't claim to be a New Yorker. You could just say my parents is from New York. You was born in whatever state you was born in, and that's what you are. So it goes the same for countries. Your ancestors could have been born in Africa, but that wouldn't matter because you was born wherever you was born. And just like the kid from Atlanta can't claim to be a New Yorker because his parents was born there, you can't claim to be an African because you think your ancestry lied there. Remember, Africa got to do with nationality, which got to do with birthplace. We speak in countries. We're not talking about race. We're not talking about genes yet. There's no African genes because Africa is just the name of a place. And that name was made up by the colonizers that came. So to promote yourself as any of the places on earth, you pretty much just freely promoting the names that the colonizers came here and created. Meaning colonizers came here, stole land, named it whatever it want, and basically labeled the people of the area as whatever they named the place. Slaved the people out, and then here you go saying, I'm this slave place or that slave place. Because that's all these countries or cities that we live in are. They're slave places or zoo places. The word slave ain't smiled upon in the daytime. Of course, slavery was abolished. The word, not the performance. Slavery, the word was abolished, but in regards to people being slaves and, slavery being working their life away, that never stopped. They just changed the name to like employment, employee, but the concept is still the same. Work all day, get a couple hours for yourself in the evening, and get it. Bring your ass back in. Bring your ass back in and get back to this slaving. And that never ends. You just get really old. This is how it was with the slaves. They just worked till they got really, really old. And then the slave master just take care of them till they die. Like, they get to eat and get whatever bullshit clothes the rest of the slaves get, and they ain't got to do too much. You get it, they serve they slavery to the master. And it's still like that in these cities and countries we live in. People work till they're mad old and they retire. And you get my point? It's a deep thing. This is not a joke. Meaning, if this is somebody's reality, are you blessed enough to not have that reality as of right now? It still ain't a joking matter. You get my point? We all got parents, family members, friends, etc., that's still plagued by the slavery. Meaning they haven't figured out how to free themselves from it. And it's not an easy thing. It's not like this system was built for you to easily escape it. But you get my point? Oh, they built it really good, systematic-wise, so you can't. Wherever you think to escape it, it'd be another trap. That's how they kind of developed the place in terms of the system of it. And so to have colonizers come and take over the area we call Africa and then label all the people they're Africans is disrespectful. To become partially free talking about I'm an African. You get my point? It's like Master got his plantation and he called his plantation after himself. This is how the slaves got American names. This is how they got last names like Johnson. And they was from the Johnson plantation. You get my point? Your last name Jones. Man, your peoples was on the Jones plantation. And that's how that even happened. Like, and so you get my point? That's the equivalent of you adopting that whole get up and then promoting it to others like, no, you the Jones plantation like me. That's the equivalent of somebody telling you, man, you African like I am. They ain't even never been to Africa. Mind you, Africa was colonized and, everything I just said. No different than the plantation example. And that, you get my point, is disrespectful to claim any nationality if you understand what I just said in regards to, nationality having to do with place. And of course, all the places we have, they were stolen by people and then named whatever they want. And be clear, all the colonizers wasn't white. You had dark-skinned Europeans. Remember, you had Latinos coming to America. Portugal, Italy, and Spain came over here, and you get my point? Colonized these lands. Now, when you're dealing with Latino people, well, they started off dark, just like all races. They started off as dark-skinned indigenous people before their lands got colonized by white people when they kind of got whitewashed out, but still a lot of them still dark like that. If you go back to early North America, or if you go back to early Puerto Rico, let's say 1800s Puerto Rico, you would have been lucky to find a light-skinned Puerto Rican. But as time goes by, you get my point? And the mixed breeding in with whites more and more, than you get it? The race get lighter and lighter and lighter over time. But I'm making a point. In 1492, when your Italians, your Portuguese, and those from Spain came over here, Spain is Spanish. When they came over here, most of them probably was dark skinned. Just like in New York, you have dark skinned Puerto Ricans, dark skinned Dominicans. Well, Dominicans is dark skinned, but you get it, Puerto Ricans supposed to be light skinned, but they dark skinned too. So you get my point? We get confused and think it's a white and black thing, and it don't have nothing to do with that. It have to do with like nationality thing. Nations get developed, and then those people from that nation kind of travel out and try to take over land and, do what was done to them. You get my point? It's like black people, let's say black people from America, our ancestors was kind of did how they was did, and now the place is ran by, the descendants of the colonizers that came over here. And we subjected to their rules and have to slave and work and do whatever they say for the most part. Pay to live, basically. And so it's like if we set sail and colonize from here to an unknown place, let's say Sentinel Islands, and we take over and basically do to them what was done to us. We name the place and make rules and, put the whole system down. That's basically what happened in 1492. So you had white-skinned Europeans and dark-skinned Europeans coming over here. Remember, Italy, Portugal, and Spain is in Europe. If you Spanish, you European. Maybe you say, no, I thought Spanish people was Africans. Like I said, you got agendas. And they pretty much made everybody African, even white people in it. So it don't even make no sense no more. But Spain, which is, Spanish, Portuguese, Italy, Italians, your Latino races for the most part, or what we would call like your Spanish speaking people. They come from Europe. And so, peace and wisdom, Jake Williams. You said it's not just dark skin or the colors, it's much deeper than that. The phenotype, the genotype, face and body structure, eyes, hair. Salam, shalom. When you come into a place and you didn't start from the beginning, you get my point? It's good to be smart, but you can't skip over, simple common sense. I'm saying that because I already explained whatever you're speaking about, and I'm about to go deeper, and you kind of came in and heard whatever you liked, and you get my point? It ain't all the confusion that you wrote either, but I'm getting there. Everything's simple in life. It ain't genotypes, phenotypes, hemotypes, hemogoblins, ghouls, ghosts. No. It ain't all the confusion. It's all simple, big baby. And so I'm getting there. Now, in regards to nationality, like I said, black Americans could never be Africans because nationality, which is what African would be, has nothing to do with race. It just has to do with the name of a place. And of course, the name of all the places we know, they made up. So, you get my point? No one's truly an African because that's just a made up name. You get my point? And that black Hebrew Israelites tell you, we Hebrew Israelites. We from Israel. We wasn't born there, so it don't matter if you say, well, our ancestors come from there. It don't work like that. Wherever you born is where you from. If you was born in Atlanta, you from Atlanta. Your parents could be born in New York. You ain't no New Yorker, and it wouldn't matter how much you want to be. You an Atlantean, an Atlantan alien. AT alien. And so it's all simple. But it starts with understanding the difference between nationality and race. When you're dealing with genes and genetics, you're talking race. But you'll have people in the daytime say, we're genetically African. Jabari said that when he was speaking to WAC 100. He said genetics already proved that we're African or something like that. I don't remember his exact wordings, but he tried to like reference it to genes. And the name of a place don't have nothing to do with your genetics. Boy, this is why you could be born in Atlanta and your mama in New York, and she's a New Yorker and you an ATLian. Your ancestors could be born in Africa, you could be born in America, you gonna be an American. You was born in America, your brother was born in Europe, one of the countries over there. He died. By nationality, he is. Not by race and genes, but by nationality, which have to do with birthplace. He is that, and you whatever you is. And so the point I'm making is, if your argument is, if you're a North American and your argument is, my ancestors is from Africa, that's what you believe, well, it wouldn't matter. You're still not an African. So Jabari was born in America. And his parents and his grandparents, and probably as far back as he know, everybody can trace back a couple of generations. Going back in antiquity, well, you get it? You setting up room to get lost, but everybody can go back a few generations. So I don't suppose any of the Pan-African, the black Americans that claim Pan-Africa, I don't suppose any of them was born in Africa. In that, they could never be an African on a nationality level. Now, on a race level, ain't no African race. That's just the name that was given to a place. There is no African genes. You can say, yes, there is African genes. You're confusing what you think the people of the place look like in their genetics with the false name put on them. So you're confusing that. Like, let's say you're somebody, you say, no, there is African genetics or African genes. You're confusing the indigenous people from Africa who was whatever they was before colonizers came there, took over it, and named it Africa. You're confusing those people as being African. So when you say, I do have African genetics, you're speaking from that perspective truly, meaning the image you have of African people, the indigenous ones from there, you're basically calling their features African, but they have nothing to do with that name, meaning they have nothing to do with the place being taken over and named Africa. They was there before that. And that's a disrespect to them. And so I'm just making the point that can't nobody be African, meaning if you a black person from America, you could never be African. Whether you talking nationality wise, because you wasn't born there, or whether you talking genetic wise, because ain't no such thing as African. That's just a made up name. You see how we get so lost into the agendas and the BS talk and all the labels and all of the, fancy wording, that we skip over the most simplest thing. Meaning, I don't care how deep a nigga broke it down to you that you an African. All of that was beautiful. You can't skip over what I just said on a real level. On a real level, Africa is just the name they made up and gave to that place. And then don't nobody got African genes. What the fuck we talking about? That's like your name is James and we say, man, everybody got James genes. Like, your genes ain't called James. That's just your name or the name that was given to you. And what they're speaking of is truly your features. Your features having nothing to do with your name being James. You get my point? It's a whole retard conversation. It got to do with the agenda of black people being led. It got to do with black people being dumbed down and not knowing where they from. So You got a puddle over here convincing us we from Africa. You got a puddle over here convincing us we from Israel. You got a puddle over here convincing us we from America. And you get it? The people we descend from come before these names. They come before the place was hijacked and renamed. And you get my point? It's truly a disjustice to ancestry. Meaning if you somebody that's all lost in the ancestry and claiming your heritage and ancestry, you doing it in a disrespectful manner. If you come from the side that was abused by the colonizers. If you come from the colonizer side, then I get it. But if your ancestors was the ones that was did dirty by colonizers, you sound dumb claiming anything that they brought. And so I'm just making a simple point. If you a black person born in America, and your mother, grandparents, so on and so forth, ain't necessarily born in Africa either, you sound way crazy saying you African. It ain't possible for you to be. You'd have to be born there. And you ain't even positive or can prove that your people were. So you get my point? It kind of makes the whole conversation null and void. Now, after we establish that the name Africa is truly just a name that was made up like all names, well, ain't nobody genetically African, American, or none of these names. We come from whatever people we come from. It's like I always say, we not born from places. We born from people. If somebody trying to convince you from this place or that place, they highly ignorant. Meaning they forgot they wasn't born out the ground. They was born out of a woman's vagina. They come from people, not from places. And of course, it's people we migrate around as we still do now, but you get my point? In today's climate, we be talking like we're born from places. So they're arguing who's from America, who's from Africa. Like we actually born out of the vagina of America or something. We born from people. You can only claim people, meaning black people descend from a person, not a place. Chinese people, they come from a person, not a place. When I say Chinese people, I'm talking about the people that have the chinky-eyed feature. That tribe or race of people, they come from a person. They don't come from a place. And it's the same with black people. They don't come from a place. They come from a person. Meaning there's a person that had those Chinese features. And you get my point? It's like the Bible say with Jacob. Jacob had however many wives he had, and he had however many children he had, and they had children, and those children had children, and whatever the features of Jacob was. So this is how you get the children of Israel, are the people, are that race of people that come from a person. Meaning when you're dealing with the Bible or you're dealing with anything in life, people come from people. You get nations or races of people from a person. And so the claimings of lands and saying we come from here and we come from there and this is our nationality, no. If you a black person, let's say you are a Jamaican person, Puerto Rican, a Dominican, whatever, a Haitian, you are a descendant of the indigenous people that was in that area before the colonizers came. So before Haiti was called Haiti, there was indigenous people running around in that area. It wasn't developed into a country with roads and stop signs and street names. But the people that inhabited that area is your ancestors. The colonizers that came, which would be your Europeans, those from Portugal, Italy, Spain, The French, of course, came over to the Haiti areas. That's why they speak French. But you get my point? Before the French came over to the area we call Haiti and colonized it, that means develop it into a country and name that country Haiti, and then name all those indigenous people that was in that area Haitians and give them their language, which would have been French. Before all of that happened, if you're a Haitian, you're just a descendant of the indigenous people that was in that area of Middle America, South America, or North America, wherever it falls. But do you get my point? That's your nationality. Not you being lost trying to claim this place or that place, but you claim the people. And it's as simple as that. Before colonizers come and develop, raw, bare naked land into countries and name those countries, the tribal people that, inhabited it, that's your ancestors. And it's the same for any place you come from. So let's say you were Puerto Rican. Before the colonizers came to that area that we call Puerto Rico and developed it into a country and named the people whatever they named the country, you had indigenous dark-skinned people living and roaming in that area. And that's your ancestors. See how simple that is? Especially if you were dark-skinned Puerto Rican. You definitely a descendant of the dark-skinned indigenous people that was roaming and residing in that area before it was developed up and called whatever it's called now. And so it's the same for those from DR, Jamaica, and even North America. Meaning if you're a black person and you like, man, I was born in North America, what's my nationality? You were descendant of the people that was living in North America before colonizers came here, developed it up, and called it America. In that, how we do in today's climate, you basically named after the place. So we would be North Americans. Haitians that, you get it? That live over in Haiti and that place was called Haiti, they're called Haitians. They're named after the place that their ancestors would have been in. Meaning if you were Haitian, this is a dark-skinned person, you live in Haiti. Your ancestors was there, they was dark-skinned too like you. But the place wasn't called Haiti and it wasn't developed up into a country. When the colonizers came and they make your ancestors take their name, their language, and the place is developed up into a country, and you fast forward into these times, they named you after the place. You follow? And not a dark-skinned Mexican or a dark-skinned person that was born in Mexico or their ancestry lies there. They refer to as a Mexican. There's only one place that is not claimed by any race of people. And there's only one race of people that does not have a place to claim. That's Black Americans. Nobody is technically a North American. The Mexican is from Mexico. You get it? Everybody from where they from. If you in America right now, but you Haitian, you get it? Your homelands is in Haiti, whether you was born there or not. As a race of people, that's where your people would have been, whether it's called Haiti or not. You see my point? Every people got a place. Dark-skinned Jamaicans, they have a place. It's called Jamaica. Yeah, they're not the ones that colonized it, but their ancestors would have been the indigenous people that was there. So they would have got the name jacked onto them too. But, you get my point? You're still a Jamaican technically. Let's say you're a Cuban. You get my point? There's a place called Cuba, and that's where you're from. It wouldn't matter what place you're at right now. Technically, you're from there. Now, when you go to Black Americans, you say, well, what country are they from? We don't have no country. That part, we do. North America, the place that you live in right now. The United States. That's the only place you know. That part. I don't mean like, oh, your people was brought from here to there, and that's why that's the only place you know. You can't prove that your peoples was brought from anywhere. There was dark-skinned people that are described the same way you look when the colonizers came. So no one can argue that there was dark-skinned or black people already here when colonizers came. So if you dark-skinned or black, and all you know is this place, you can't say, well, that don't matter. I'm going to skip past that because I'm African. Huh? Everybody named after the place that they peoples descend from. And so, like I said, black Americans, whatever indigenous people were in North America before the colonizers came, and you get it, developed a place in the countries, named it, North America, and then made the people take on that name. Well, they didn't make us take on the name. They just left it empty. But they did that in every other place. They made the people take on the name. In regards to black people, they said, nah, this place is too good. We'd hate for you niggas to. That's what it seemed like to me. Otherwise, why the hell we ain't referred to as North Americans? We referred to as African Americans. But ain't no African American. Nigga, we either American or we ain't. Stop playing word games. It's like somebody know you American, so they try to throw some other shit on there too to throw you off. Like, well, you just can't have the place to yourself, so you gonna be an African American. But we know nothing about Africa. We ain't never been to Africa, and it was dark skinned people here when you came. So how about we the descendants of them, and we would be basically the original North Americans. That part. Everybody like to talk past that point because it don't serve them. And so if you a black person, you a North American. The only group of people that can claim that, like I said, there is nobody who claims to be a North American. I ain't talking about Native Americans either. They live on whatever reserves they live on. I'm talking about North America, the country. Who's that? That part. We are. And so hopefully that's clear. I have to take a quick little tinkle. Enjoy the scenery. Give me a second. Salam, I'm back. You said North America is a continent. North America is the country too. It's called the United States of America. The United States of America is just the north part. I'm responding to Jake Williams' said North America is a continent. Yeah, it's also the name of the country too. United States of America. That's speaking of the north part. All of it. United States of America, which is the country, and North America is the same area of landmass. It's the same place. And so you have to make sense. Like I said, a lot of y'all think y'all are smart, but you skip over the simple things. Now, the true question is, how come all these black races have gotten, like, named after a place? They have a homeland. Haitians have a homeland. Jamaicans have a homeland. And all these other black races, they seem to have a homeland or a place. Why black Americans don't? Did they purposely do that? Like, why would they pick us out of all the black races to say, let's make sure they ain't got no place? But all the other black races can have one. Like, think about that. You got a Haitian, they black, they look just like your ass, but you get it? They ain't got the problem you got where you like, I ain't sure what country I come from. And every other black race, they ain't got that problem either. We just seem like we got that problem. All these black races, and we the only ones that don't have no clue, meaning it ain't plain and simple where we come from. They name us African American, but they label everybody else as the place. A Haitian is from Haiti. You get it? A Mexican is from Mexico. They make it simple and clear for everybody else, but when they come to us, it get confusing. African American, what is that? And so you get my point? The reason that's like that, where all the other black races have a homelands, is because at some time in the past, their peoples rebelled against the taking overs of the place. And so you get it? There was like a compromise of some sort at some point with the indigenous people or the natives of the land and the colonizers. To where you get my point? They kind of got some control over the place. Maybe not all of them, but a few of them. And when you're dealing with black Americans, we ain't never back over the place or made no agreement of no sort. Instead, what happened is we start claiming Africa and shit. And that, it never even could happen. It can, but you get my point? It can't, because we say we from Africa. And that's drilled into our head by colonizers and, anybody else. In that, if you say, oh yeah, so why our ancestors ain't revolt and get like a compromise going where you get it? It's plainly said that we the North Americans. Why that ain't happen? Because of what I just said. They start popping up with agendas talking about we from Africa. It's like I said, the people that started the Pan-African, that whole movement, this go back to the late 1800s with Henry Sylvester, or his name is Sylvester Henry, I forget. But it go back to him, W.E.B. Du Bois, and all of these other black people that ain't actually from North America. They from the islands. And they brainwashed us under that dumb shit. But remember, these people all was in Europe putting this together. Meaning Henry Sylvester, W.E.B. Du Bois, and everybody else that was black that played their part in creating the Pan-African movement back in them times. Man, they was sellouts that was putting all of this together in Europe with white people. You could look it up. Just look up, when did the Pan-African, or whatever y'all call it when you black and you believe you from Africa, look up when did that start and by who, and you gonna see like, oh shit, he right. Them boys wasn't necessarily North Americaners. They was Jamaicans, Trinidadians, and you get my point? people that had white people over them. And all these people was traveling to Europe and getting the best education during the time where black people couldn't even walk up the block off their plantation without crossing the gun line and getting smoked. So explain that. How was Henry Sylvester and W.E.B. Du Bois in Europe during a time where a black man gets shot if he crossed the gun line on a plantation? That means he can't even walk 100 yards without dying. But somehow they was able to travel to Europe and sit down with white people. And you want to tell me that they wasn't like the pets of white people? You got to get serious. Like I said, it was an agenda that started a long time ago. And it have to do with what I said. They didn't want black people to rebel like all other black nations did to where they got some part of the country back, you know? And you get it? This is where all these agendas come from. This is where, you know, the beginnings of black people getting lost on where they from. They start with that whole African thing back in the late 1800s with black men that ain't actually from North America. They from Trinidad and all kind of stuff like that. Meaning the white people use Trinidadians and people that look like North Americans to brainwash them to believe that the place that's their place ain't. Again, the people that started the Pan-African movement, they wasn't black people from North America. They was black people from Trinidad, Jamaica. They place being conquered by white people too. And so like I said, white people have that plan to keep black people from claiming America. And they use people that look like us to brainwash us. You get it? This is where you get the whole sellout thing from. They don't care. They not fucking black Americans. They view themselves as a Jamaican. The same way as now. A Jamaican don't view himself as the same thing as a black American. A Trinidadian don't view himself as the same as a black American. And I'm sure if they bribed by white people right now to come pretend like they us and brainwash us under some dumb shit, they'll do it if it's beneficial to them. And so you get my... I'm just painting a realistic picture for you to grasp. All of that is agendas to keep us dumbed down. It's just like religion. Black people ain't have no religion. Black people was spiritual until Elijah Muhammad popped up and of course brought the NOI, basically a black form of Islam, onto black people. Of course it was started by some white dude, meaning Elijah Muhammad's OG is some white dude, and he the one that put all that foolishness in his head. And Elijah Muhammad passed it down to Malcolm X and whoever else he did, and this is when black people started becoming Muslims. But before that, we wasn't biting. I mean, in that way, they use our own to basically make us whatever dumb thing they want us to be. And then, of course, Martin Luther King, he had to do with black people taking up Christianity. And that y'all be lost in this or that. And that's how it is in the daytime. Y'all leave Islam to become Christians, and y'all leave Christianity to become Muslim, and y'all just ping pong back and forth between all the agendas, which is lies that was already set before y'all. If you remove Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and you get it, there not being no black religious speaker of those times, y'all still wouldn't be like Christians or Muslims right now. It's because of that. It's just like now you see your favorite star say, "Thank you, Jesus," and that's really the reason why you were Christian. Because of that. We idolizers. And that, you get my point? We can be brainwashed under anything because we idolize our own. And that our own just sell us out. Like, they do it now. If they want y'all to vote for Bernie Sanders or some white person y'all ain't never heard of, then they just pay Cardi B to act like she loved Bernie Sanders. Or some other black star y'all idolize, and then y'all be like, yeah, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. Don't know nothing about Bernie Sanders. They want y'all to hate Donald Trump or do whatever they want y'all to do. They just get y'all on, pay them, they sell y'all out and act like they care. And this is what the black race is suffering right now. We keep getting sold out by our own. Plain dumb about it though. Like, you get my point? And then it just carry over through the generations. And so, like I said, if you a black American, your nationality or your heritage have to do with the indigenous people that was here before they came and developed it into a country and called it, the United States of America. He said they could potentially be shape-shifted entities like reptiles or fallen angels and even be immortal. I heard somewhere that Martin Luther King is Don King. This generation is bad. Y'all bad off. Y'all minds never evolve or mature into adulthood. You talking about cartoons and you talking about shit you have no experience with, just things you've seen on TV and heard. Things that don't even sound like something an adult would be talking about. We got grown people telling y'all there's dragons. All you is dragon blood and all of that. It's dumb shit. And y'all believe in it, still having no proof that there's dragons. And y'all will repeat these things like oil is dragon blood, like you was proving something. It's like how he said what he said. They could be fallen angels or shape-shifting entities. Bro, none of those things was proven to you, however you got them in your mind. How you skipped over that to start talking about them like they facts in life. And that's what I mean with us as a people. We weak-minded. We be trying to skip past everything and try to make it like it's this thing or that thing. We weak as hell on a mental level. The hell we be claiming and going along and believing things having no proof that is true. Then when we questioned on it like, hey dummy, you ain't get no proof of that, we be arguing against that like we want to be dumb. This shit is deep. You right. People are insane. That's what I've learned through this decade of teaching. That people are just weak-minded, and you get it? They truly have no brain, but it goes deeper than that. I should explain that to y'all. Like how it goes deeper than that. Y'all ain't got no control over y'all conscious. But if you black, kind of become aware of that. Like how easy you are to just go with any old hearsay and playing with yourself like you got a proof on something. That's what dumb us out. Meaning that's our only problem in this life, and that's why we sitting around here arguing about if we African, if we this or that, and why all we can do is argue and have no agreements on anything is because of what I just said. We just keep playing dumb, taking anything given to us without any proof or nothing. How that happens, I don't even know. I don't know how you tell somebody something, don't prove shit to them, and they just go with it. That's like retarded. That's retarded levels of things, but you get it? To each his own. Now, if you black, you're fallen angels, y'all silly. Fallen angels is sperm cells. But people in today's times don't have a brain to realize that the Bible and the scholarship concerning Christianity have to do with the creation of physical life. The stories in the Bible Genesis have to do with the beginnings of physical life. Whether you're talking about the universal body or an individual person's body, you're still talking about physical life manifesting forth from nothing, and you get it? That whole process. And so what they're calling fallen angels is basically what we call sperm cells. These is the progenitors of mankind. If you're lost, your progenitor is a sperm cell and an egg cell. I know you like to dumb yourself out and be like, no, the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is sperm cell. The progenitors of mankind. Who else is the progenitors of mankind? You see how today's society is so dumb and lost on stupid talk that they skip over the simplicity of everything. Progenitor mean like the precursor to. What's the precursor to man? A sperm cell coming together with an egg. Somehow mankind forgot that. So he say, no, the fallen angels is these beings I have no image of in my mind, but they're real. If I ask y'all when y'all use the word fallen angels, what image is coming to your mind? Like what are you talking about to you? That part, nothing. You didn't even think about that. You're just repeating words. Otherwise, when you say fallen angels, what do you actually have in mind? Because there was no imagery given to y'all. That's my point. We just hear a thing and have no proof and understanding of nothing we talking about, and we just be babbling and babbling and spreading that chopped up information. He said proofs and evidence are controlled, influenced, monopolized by the government and scientific community, which are controlled by the oppressors. That's why people opt for alternatives or conspiracies. Y'all look roll. Before that, he said, I think it's a dude named the Fittest Flat Earther. He claims that most of these famous, rich, influential people are fallen angels. Y'all just like making my point. Like, there's no self-awareness in the daytime. You make a point to them how dumb they are, and then they show you, like, they try to prove to you I'm not dumb by showing you what you just pointed out to them. Like, it's like you telling somebody they dumb for a certain reason, and then they argue with you, no, I'm not, and do exactly what you just said. What made them dumb? Like, you dumb because of this. And then they just get, they make their point by showing you. They make their point by making your point. Internet got mine scrambled. I see why you said way back the channel is for. Do you see my point? When I first started, I was 33. I said my channel is for people 30 and older. Because I already know the younger generation, they brain ain't even working at all. But when you get older, at some point, it's supposed to start working. But I'm starting to see, once you dumb yourself out young, you just evolve into a more of a, the dumb grows with you. Like, you get it? The stupid kid gonna grow up to be the even stupider adult. The kid that don't pay attention gonna become the adult that don't pay no attention. That sloppy kid who don't tie their sneaker and fix their collar gonna become the adult that's sloppy like that. Holy Zoli said, I've been watching you at 24 and now I'm 30. I see how stupid I was. This is what I mean. But some of y'all that came that's below 30, you get it? Nothing's fixed. I'm just making a perspective. Like, if you need 30, my channel is for older people. But some of y'all, 25 years old, you more mature than 30-year-old people. And that, you get my point? You know your levels. Maybe you 25, but you hang out with nothing but 30 and 35-year-olds. Then you should be able to grasp whatever I'm talking about. But, most people just hang with their age bracket. And so it's a deep thing. But you right, the internet got mine scrambled. And it's deep because I told everybody when I first started teaching, like, you see how y'all just easily let people y'all just sell y'all minds to any and everything? Anybody say anything, y'all just let them in y'all mind space and be repeating what they said, and you get it? And I told y'all back then, y'all gonna be dumb as hell when the time comes. Man, I told y'all was gonna be sleeping in y'all cars. If you go back 10 years ago, cars wasn't that fashionable, or y'all wasn't as dumbed out on them as y'all are now. I told y'all then, like, y'all pride is going up to where the newer generation gonna be scared to walk to the store because they gonna think they a bum for just walking to the store. Niggas gonna be sleeping in their cars like bums. How many of y'all? 10 years you been watching me, I ain't sleeping in no car. But how many of y'all have? And you ain't had that problem when I said it. You just let that shit go over your head when I said it. Like, you was young, like 21, so you like, man, you don't know what you talking about. You ain't paying no mind when I said it. Like that. I told y'all a lot of things. Y'all just don't listen. I told y'all Trump was gonna be the president. Back when they were saying like, ain't no way Trump gonna be the president. That's just the stupidest thing. You get it? When if you young, when first Trump first ran for president, nobody believed that he will win. Cause we seen it so many times where famous people try to run for the president. Even Dick Gregory tried to be the president. If you old enough to know who he is. Jesse Jackson tried to be the president. But when famous people, shit don't ever work. Like, they never get voted in. So when Trump did it, everybody kind of went, ain't no way they about to let Trump be the president. That shit don't ever win. It don't ever work. The politicians always still win. Like, and I told y'all then, I said, nah, Trump gonna win. Watch. Like, I said it's about to get crazy out here. He gonna win. Y'all gonna see. Niggas literally told me I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's how outlandish it sounded when I said it. Like, nah, Trump gonna win. They view me as a troller. They like, man, he stayed trolling, not taking it serious. Why he won? Why he won and y'all was pissed off after I already had told y'all like he gonna win. And they just letting him win to piss y'all off. They like to control a society with fear and anger. So they just focus on pissing y'all off and making y'all scared simultaneously. Like, today they'll make y'all scared to death and tomorrow they gonna piss y'all off. It's like the Nolan Wells thing. It's just to piss y'all off. Back when I was growing up, we probably wouldn't even have known that happened. Whoever lived in that state that it happened in, they would have known. But if you lived in New York, Atlanta, or somewhere where you're not from where that happened, it wouldn't have made your news. Because back in the day, niggas wasn't spreading negativity. That made no sense. That made no sense for me to tell you about a gunman that ain't in the place that you in. To be real with you, when I was growing up, the people in the ghettos and, people that get shot, robbed, and all kind of shit, and you always hear people in the ghetto say, man, they ain't gonna come down here. Man, they ain't gonna come down here. They ain't gonna put that shit on the news. If I'm lying, if you 40 and up, your homeboy got shot back in the day, nobody ain't say what I just said. Nobody said, man, it don't matter he got shot. That shit ain't gonna be on the news. You said it like fucking with him. Like, man, we put famous people on the news. It don't matter if you got shot. They ain't nobody gonna air that. That's not important because nobody know you. That was the mindset in the past. I'm letting you to see, like, back in the day, whatever was happening in the world, it wasn't the whole world business. Nobody was trying to stress people out like that. Why am I about to tell you what happened over in Texas and you live all the way in New York? What sense do that make unless I'm trying to start a whole fucking riot? And this is what they doing. They telling y'all about black boys that like to hang out with white boys and get killed. Normally, y'all be like, fuck them, that's what they get. Dumbass nigga, what the fuck is you over there for? This is how we was in the past. We was a little more realer. The grandmas, you feel me, grandpops, these was ruthless motherfuckers with the mouth. They cursed and all of that, and that shit was acceptable. Because you had to learn. You couldn't tell you nothing nice. That's how you be stupid when you talk to people too nicely. So grandpa, grandma curse you clean up. Y'all need that back in the daytime, like how we was raised. Where you get clean cursed out if your ass is showing that you slow out this motherfucker. We don't have that tribal family mindset anymore, where if you see somebody falling behind, they gonna get roughed the fuck up till they get their shit together. The punk in the neighborhood got roughed up on the regular till he got tough, and he eventually got tough like everybody else. But you get it? No man falling short back in the day, you feel me? Because you represent the whole. You can't be walking around here all goofy. Some of y'all had little brothers, sisters, all of that. And you did what I just said. You was like, nah, they too soft. I'm out to, you get? I'm out to lean on them. They got to learn. The fuck is you walking around here embarrassing? The fuck is you out here getting bullied, embarrassing the whole family? You know we like to carry it like we tough, and you out here getting chumped off. I had to cost you back in the day. The family not playing with that. Grandmas ain't allowing you to let, you feel me? Back in the day, grandmas was tough. They not allowing you to discredit the family name because you want to be a whole goofy. You feel me? And that's your grandma drag you outside, and you feel me? You gonna stand tall out here. You gonna be solid out here. You hear? And ain't no going around that. Peace and wisdom, Tony Johnson. See, some of y'all older, you know what I mean. You like, yeah, definitely like that. And so, try to be mindful of these things. Keep disturbing my attention. I'm sorry. But that's what the news and all of that is for. Meaning 1 week they won't piss y'all off, the next week they want to make y'all scared to death like y'all got something to worry about, and y'all don't ever catch on to the cycles where y'all look at it like, man, they keep saying the same shit and ain't nothing really happening though. They got us sitting here thinking it's gonna be some world war, but it still ain't happening though, and they just keep leading us on in the meanwhile. God damn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That slipped out. I didn't mean it. Give me a young girl. Shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at a little booty. Got a little distracted. A little fatty. Y'all know me. I like to stay as human as I can. Nigga mad wise. Fatty walk by. I'm like, ooh. Hold on now. Nigga snap out of wise mode so fast. Oh, hold on. I just seen some tenders. Little hungry myself, you hear? It don't matter how much women get on my nerves, I still like, you feel me? Nothing makes me not want to have sex with them. Like, I still want to have sex with them. It's like deep. Like, if you a man, you feel the same, right? Like, man, sometimes I really just hate females, but never enough to not have sex with them. I just hate them, like, I just hate them on a superficial level, not like for real, for real. Just that old school shit. That curse shit chick out, nigga be like, you gonna turn gay? You like, nah. She just get on my nerves, but not enough where I don't want to have sex with her tonight or nothing like that. I'm still trying to clap them cheeks. I'm just saying, nigga, I hate her like, you know, how you hate some shit, but you don't, but you do, like that. Not enough to like, not enough to where I ain't trying to get no boot cheeks, you feel me? Nah. Say you rather a chick piss you off for the rest of your life or never get no ass, nigga. Like, sign me up for the headache, blood. I gotta get my rock. Sign me up for that lifelong headache, cause I got to get my rocks off, man. What do you, what do you mean? What do you mean never have sex again, huh? I don't mind a headache. That nigga hit you with that. You rather a chick give you a headache for the rest of your life, or you be free from a headache, but you get no ass. Nigga like, well, she ain't give me no headache. Lying. Nigga start lying to keep him some ass. I never said she gave me a headache and I hated her. I ain't say that. I don't mind a little headache every now and then. Anything to keep him some booty. You feel me? This shit deep. A man to go to hell for some ass. That's how men here really. Satan is a woman. The nigga said, nah, I need some ass. I got to go below, big baby. Sorry, God. And the nigga dived out the clouds and came to earth and said, man, bitch, you owe me. I'll risk my life. The same way it is now. Nigga be mad at this girl talking about, bitch, I worked my life away for you. The nigga, the angel that jumped out of heaven said, Bitch, I came all the way down here to die for you. You better give me some pussy. And this is where reproduction started. You know, life is a reproduction thing. You know, repeat. Good old Satan and God story. You feel me? Man and woman. I know that Satan and God story about man and woman, right? Women don't listen. They always want to be challenging when somebody tell them. It ain't a man or woman thing. It start with their own mama. They just don't like to listen. So when a female get like halfway to grown, this is 12 years old. She ain't even nowhere near grown. She like to start to show her ass and challenge people. You know, her mama first, then her daddy, and whoever else she could bully. They got this problem like that. So then you get it? It all starts with the devil. He was a chick. He had that same pride like that. So he got kicked out. Then the masculine angel was like, damn, that was the only chick here, blood. How could you kick her out? He started rebelling against God in her name because he like, hold on, blood. I was hitting that on the low. What you doing? So then God slapped him up, kicked him out of heaven too. So he blamed her like, bitch, I'm down here because of you. Then it just happened in the physical with Adam and Eve. That nigga like, bitch, I ate that apple because you said so. Get it? Man gonna blame woman for his problems forever. But it ain't really a problem because the nigga not giving up no ass. So he signed up for it. Like, Adam could have turned down the apple, but he wanted some pussy that night. So he was like, I'll just eat a little bit. Give me a bite. But you get it? You can't abuse her and get mad at her, nigga, because you chose Poom Poom 99. And so this is the story of life. It's all that. Like, y'all gotta remember, sex is the beginning of everything. You got to grasp that. These biblical stories do have something to do with sex and sperm cells and eggs, but y'all just don't, y'all not mature enough. And I'm making it in a funny way so you know y'all can laugh and grasp. I guess y'all just want it serious, but I do it like that so like everybody could get it. People seem to get jokes better, like, and that most of y'all listen. You say, nah, what he just said do make fucking sense. It was funny, but he right. God and Satan is opposites. Man and woman is opposites, but they the same though, like God and the devil. And you get it. We do fuck our whole life up for some pussy. Like, we can't help it. Like, hey, nigga, to fuck this life up for some pussy. Can't help it. He'll do it again. I wouldn't care what that nigga tell you. I hate that girl, but if he ain't had no pussy and she was right there, take it. He'll repeat the problem all over. He will repeat that problem and blame her all over again. Like, we didn't just see this nigga make his choice. Like, nigga, you chose her. No, I didn't. He start lying. No, I didn't. What happened was this. My grandmama, she liked her. No, men and women, you know, they got their little dance going on, just like the devil and God. But you know, everything got to get it together at some point. Everything got to become one at some point. See, why homosexuals got to be so extra? Nigga super gay, mad louder than the chick. He more girly and gayer than the girl. Can't just be a faggot regular. Like, what the fuck is going on with y'all in the daytime? Nigga want to put on the girl walk more than the girl. Like, come on, man. You supposed to be trying to look like a girl, not some weird ass shit that's beyond it. Nigga, fuck a faggot got ego. Nigga want to be more than the girl. Blood. You know, get your wide ass up. What the fuck if you don't get your stretched out asshole out of here with all of that bullshit trying to be above what you trying to be with your goofy ass? You gonna try to be a fake girl and then try to be more of a girl than a girl. Nigga, you the fake version if you don't get the fuck out of here. You don't get the fuck out of here acting more like a girl than the girl. They're trying to outdo what you mimicking like we can't fucking see the difference between the real deal and got a whole ball in the back of your ass. That's his dick. Just put his dick in his ass and you get it? A big ass ball in the back of his ass. The chicks don't got that blood. What is that? You got a new growth coming in. Nigga, your new growth beard coming in. Chicks don't got that. The fuck? I'm sorry, you homosexual. I'm just playing. Come on now. Everybody got to be able to be teased. Once you, this is what I mean by y'all. You can't even tease homosexuals. They above shit that everybody got to deal with. Like stealing all the fucking colors. The boys is blue, girls is pink. Here, these niggas go take the whole fucking rainbow. That's all the colors, nigga. What is you doing? The fuck is you trying to take over the whole life for? And why ain't nobody saying nothing? I don't care. I'm saying something. You niggas got to take brown. Doo doo. Boys is blue, girls is pink, and homosexuals is brown for doo doo, nigga. But you can't have all the colors. You done lost your goddamn mind. Like I said, I loved rainbow ices when I was a boy, and I like that rainbow color. You can't have it. Like, it's too many colors for one fucking group. You got men, you got women, and you got homosexuals. Men is blue, women is pink. Here y'all come late. Y'all come late as the fake versions of what already is talking about. We got all the colors. Get your goofy fruity ass out of here. Just cause you fruity, that don't mean like that's what the rainbow mean. Like I'm fruity. I'm a whole fruit. Oh, this video gonna get flagged as shit, man. Y'all better hope y'all get this wisdom from it now, cause this shit might not even be uploaded. I don't know, Joe. This shit might get taken down later. I done went way too far. Sorry. If you gay, I'm sorry too. If you like about to cry and kill yourself, that's not my intentions. I'm just having a little fun. Like I know gay people. I bother them like this in person. They don't mind so much because we friends. But you get my point? You not my friend. You taking it serious, probably. Don't kill yourself. It ain't that deep. Straight people don't hate gay people that much, and the ones that do, they really gay theyself. So it ain't. You get it? You ain't got to feel no way. If you gay and a straight person riding you, and you like, I don't know why this straight motherfucker like act like my life got to do with his. It's because he wants your life to have something to do with his. That's why he all in your business. But real straight people, we don't care if you gay as long as you keep that shit. You get it? As long as you don't include me in your weird shit, I wouldn't care. As long as you respect me, I respect you. If you respect I ain't gay, then we ain't got no problem. I don't tease you ever so often, but I tease straight people. Like, teasing just a part of society. It's not teasing when you grown. It's just real reflections that's funny, like reflections of self that we never think about. Trying to manipulate them. Huh? I'm y'all friend. Come on, don't cancel me. I was falling for it. Man, fuck y'all. I meant everything I said, but like I said, I don't want y'all to kill yourself over it. That wasn't. I don't want y'all to hate me or nothing, but I meant everything I said. Y'all getting too cute and y'all trying to take over shit, and y'all need to chill out. Talking all fucking loud and taking all the goddamn colors and disrespecting people that you mimicking ain't the way. Meaning if you gay, you either pretending you a man or you pretending you a woman. So you can't be the fake version and then trying to call the shots too. You got homosexuals out here trying to fight chicks. Blood, you ain't no chick. You need to chill out, nigga. Got a whole noodle in your drawers. What are you doing? You got a Frank down there, blood. What the fuck are you putting your hands on her for? Acting like it's normal? If you don't go beat up in private like I'm sorry. I'm just playing. If you a female like get beat up, I'm just playing. Relax. You a homosexual. You don't beat chicks up on Front Street. You beat them up in private like these. I'm playing. Y'all know that. Come on now. Nothing wrong with laughing. Whatever you've experienced in life is just a joke. The joke's on you because you didn't see the joke in it. You just seen whatever part you wanted to. So you get my point? Life is a balance. You got to see both sides of things so you can feel good. If you only see one side of things, then you get it. You're going to get burnt out. If you only want to deal with day and not night, you're going to be burnt out all night. So that's how life is with everything. You gotta take what you don't like you like it too, cause you get it. Life is a balance. If you could dish it, you could take it. If you could eat, you could shit. Like, it's all simple. That part of what I just said is not a joke. That's real. It's all that simple if you're young. At some point, you gotta find a balance. Where you get my point? If you could win, you could lose. If you could do anything on one end, you should be able to accept like the other end with the same amount of grace. Your head should still be up in the same end it was when you was winning or when you was doing whatever the opposite is of, you get it? Whatever you don't like. It shouldn't be no one way where you winning and your head is all held high. Now when you lost, your head is all down. Your wins still your wins. And your loss still your loss. You the thing above both. Both learning lessons for you as a thing that's above it. And that you can't never look down on yourself on no side. Of course you're gonna have your moments when you down, but life is a balance. You got to just know like this is just the cycles. Like I'm gonna feel down ever so often and I'm gonna be up ever so often. Until I evolve beyond them cycles, fully understanding like that's just gonna be in life like daytime and nighttime. And it's not for me to pick which one I like more, but to appreciate, and you get my point? Embrace both sides. There's a lot to learn in loss. A lot of people's evolving into something greater starts with their loss. Change comes from loss. New beginnings and things of this nature, it comes from loss, or shedding what was. And that, you get my point? You have to learn to respect both sides of the balance of life. You have to like that just as much as you like. You got to like loss just as much as you like win. And it's not about being fake about it, where you like, well, I gotta like both, so I am. But really, truly getting to a place where you like, yeah, I appreciate. Like I said, once you have certain experiences and you see how loss transition you, usually bringing you into something even better, you kind of reflect back and say, yeah, I appreciate loss. Loss ain't that bad, you know? It's bad in the moments of it happening. Maybe you lose somebody you love. Maybe you have a relationship that break up. Maybe you lose a fight, this thing, that thing. After time passing, you get my point? You look back, you say, yeah, that loss kind of, it wasn't even a loss. It wasn't an escape. It was this, it was that. But you get my point? I was so attached to winning or so attached to the relationship or so attached to this thing or that thing. That's really what made the loss hard, but you get it? If you're young, you got to start to like work towards that, to where you can see the beauty in both sides and take what you're supposed to take from the good and the bad. The bad just being what we call whatever side we don't want. So you get my point? That's why I say never become biased. Always stay balanced. That serve you better. It serve your emotional state and your mind better. People get stuck in life and you get my point? Stuck in bitternesses and all kind of things because of that. They don't accept both sides. They don't accept when they get in their way the same as when they not. They don't accept they wins the same as they do their losses and so on and so forth. And so it make for resistance. Them being the resistance, you get it? Meaning we don't have no problems in life. We just start resisting certain shit. And this is how we get problems. So let's say you got beef with somebody. You got beef because there was a resistance. You get it? Like that. You created it. Even if they started with you, there was a resistance of some sort. That's the only way y'all could continue to have a problem. Y'all both have to continue to resist. This make for the pressure. Once one of y'all stop resisting and just let it go, then it's over. Nobody can play by themselves. And so you use that as a lesson. But any problem you got in life, it's not a problem that you have. You're just resisting something. Say, Solace, I'm having money problems right now. You're resisting something. Probably work, but you Get my point? Y'all ass don't want to go to work or something. Whatever you got to earn money in the moment, you resisting that. So shit getting tight for you. And you get it? It's like that. Everything is just resistance. Us. We start resisting. Then things start to seem like it's getting really bad, but it's not. It's always the same. Maybe you stressed out right now over something. You only stressed out about it because you keep resisting whatever's the outcome. Like, you won't accept the outcome. So you're just frustrating yourself. Let's say you had a breakup, but you're not accepting it. Maybe you ain't get the best side of it. Maybe you got used in a relationship and now it's over. And you keep resisting accepting that it's over. And you got did dirty, but that's life. Don't be stupid next time. And you get it? You're resisting that. You're like, no, I'm not accepting that. They owe me or whatever the case may be. You get it? And so like that. When you become mature as a soul and you get to a place where you like, man, I'm not trying to like defile my emotional state and mind anymore. And like, I'm not trying to add on or be my own problem. You become aware of these things. Meaning you'll become aware of what I just said when I said like if you have any problem, reflect back on self and look at what are you resisting? There's the problem right there. Whatever you're resisting is creating, whatever it is you're complaining about. And it's going to be that way as long as you resist. Life doesn't resist us. Life is already moving and going forward. And sometimes we get stuck and we start resisting. It could be mentally stuck, emotionally stuck, physically stuck, any kind of stuck. Life move forward though. And sometimes we snap out of alignment with that forward movement. And you get my point? It makes for resistance. I apologize. Like I said, it makes for resistance. In that. But this has to be. This is how we grow and learn. And get my point? That's why I said you gotta accept both sides. You gotta look at the parts that we look at as hard. You say life is good, and then it got the hard parts too. The hard parts is for you to evolve and grow, and the good parts is so you can get a break from that evolving and growing or that schooling. So your good times is just relief from the lessons. The lessons is what you call the hard times. However long them lessons last, depend on you. Like, whenever you catch on and stop repeating cycles. But until then, you keep getting a lesson. You keep getting relief from the lesson. And when you get relief, then you say, yeah, it's good times. Then it's back to learning. That's not to say life is hardships. Life ain't hard. Learning ain't hardship. Learning is learning. But if you ain't trying to learn, then you get my point. It can be hard. So look at life as that. You got the good times and the bad times, but it's really no good times or bad times. There's just the learning times and the relief or the recess from learning. And we kind of call it good times and bad times. It's all how you perceive things. Like I said, we're wording all of these things, or we're letting people word things for us, and it creates a perspective. But you can get good and bad out your mind, meaning good times and bad times. Just remove that and just replace it with times of learning and, a recess. Times of being, relieved of learning.
Yo, please, excuse me. Please tell me you got a lighter. Thank you. Thank you.
I was recording, you was messing up my video.
Oh, I
Nah, I'm just playing.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm like, my bad.
Nah, you good, man. Enjoy yourself.
How are you?
Nah, he leaving with you. Nah, I'm just playing. probably gonna have to go over there and light it because it's too
Pink flow?
breezy over here.
Hold this. Hold this.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's
Hey,
crazy.
Lee, just
You gotta do it.
Let me
So we
do
do it.
Now let me see the light. You're just gonna have to cup it.
I did it. It's canoe it though.
do it like this. No, in a circle. Yeah.
It lit so bad though.
Thank
Mhm.
Thank you. Hold on 1 second.
you.
Thank
Right.
you.
Mhm.
I'm have one of these here.
And so if you young, try not to get too lost into society and the mindset of society. Kind of, do your own thing. You ain't gotta go against, the ideals and all the trends of society. But pick the ones you like. You ain't got to get lost in everything. It's about you getting to a place where you get it. You can confidently do you, and whatever anybody talking about, it don't even it don't even register or bother you. We talking about positive things, things that's good for the self, not the negative. And so if you young, hopefully that helps you, even if you older, hopefully that helps you grasp, your nationality and your heritage. Even if you Haitian, whatever you are, you should have a better perspective now to kind of grasp you just a descendant of the indigenous people that was in that area. And you would have had indigenous people in every area on earth before a city was built there. And kind of the last of that, meaning the last of the indigenous people that's left, is like the Sentinel Islands people. They still haven't developed Sentinel Islands into a country. And that, you can kind of get a place of how every other place was before they kind of, made contact and did whatever they did. And it was the same when you're dealing with the Amazon rainforest. They over there developing, parts of the Amazon rainforest into new countries right now. But that's why you got all these Venezuelans and all these different South American people coming over here. They basically the descendants of the indigenous people that was there. You got to remember when Obama was in office and he had all them plastic coffins shipping them shits all over the place. It had to do with that. They was over there in the Amazon rainforest killing the shit out of the indigenous people. And you get it? They was taking their kids into, what was they calling it? I forgot what they was calling it, them little camps. So think like back in 2008 through 2012 when Obama was in office, in 2012 through 2016. This is like 10 to 15, 16 years ago. And all them indigenous people over there in South America that was killed 15, 16 years ago, they kids was like 10 years old, they 25 years old now. They send them over here with clothes on and shit like that. And they say they from Venezuela or whatever modern day country that they brought them into. From the camp. First, when they get them, they don't speak no language we know, when you get my point. They got to learn the ways first. So they be in like the little camps first. And then they'll send them into a city. And then you get my point. From there, they view themselves as Venezuelans or wherever they at. And then when they get sent over here, you get my point. But the point I'm making is, Everybody is basically like that. We come from the indigenous people that was in the place before they colonized it and made it, a country. And that, whatever nationality you have, you can just use that for y'all. Let's say you Chinese. You say, okay, so how that work for us? Same way. If you go early back in the early, Chinese history, you're going to see black Chinese looking people. And it's because, like I said, you would have had indigenous people in that area, dark skinned indigenous people in that Chinese country area before it was developed into that. And colonizers of old where they came and mixed breeded with them and created the features. And slowly over time they get whitewashed out. The same way you see like with Mexicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, where you get it? They ain't dark skinned no more like they used to be, like they ancestors. They done the white now. So you get it? It's all simple. It don't matter what race you is. That's y'all story. That's the story of, colonization and creating Babylons or countries. Started with the first one back in antiquity, the dark skinned Arabs. And you get it? What we call Middle East and Arab lands, well, before it was developed, it was just indigenous place with indigenous people running around it, dark skin. And then, ancient white people came and colonized that shit. And this is what you read in the Bible for the most part. Our lepers, our Gentiles, are basically white people, people with white skin, came and colonized the area. And as we move further and further, up in time, it just become normal. Like white people in developing cities, it just become normal. But you don't look at it no way. So it's deep. Now, if anyone wants to give back, you know what to do. You can click the description link. Click the description. My links is there. Visit the website, upscaleknowledge.org. That's where my lecture books are, my blogs, private blogs, if you want to learn, without all the excess confusion that online have. Go to my website, check it out, get on the knowledge. Now, if any of y'all have questions, ask or write it. I'm reading the comments I missed. still in here, Jake Williams. Yeah, I see ya. Says set an alarm in my calendar for August 4th and write this, the Trump event, and make sure it's set on. Once it happens, don't forget me. Reflect on all the dumb things and events that you followed prior that didn't come to pass, and then ask yourself, why are you stupidly repeating the process? Just a thought. Don't take offense, but just ask yourself that. I don't need to know the answer. Some of y'all are just young and you just don't get, like, I'm not your age. I'll watch y'all dumb yourselves down. Same way a person get wise, I watch y'all learn how to be stupid over the years. Like, it's not a mistake, or it's not an oppression against self. Y'all do it to self. It's like y'all bored in life, so y'all want some kind of dragons or something. You get my like kid, you kind of bored here. You want something strange to happen, but the only things that will happen is the things we make happen. Outside of that, life was here before you got here. It's gonna be here after you're gone, and you get my point. Waiting on dumb shit. Huh? It's sitting duck thing. Enjoy being a sitting duck, waiting on, you know. You a fool when you let somebody sell you bad events or negativities that's gonna happen, and you ain't got no reason why you even doing it. Meaning ain't nothing y'all be believing in was proven to y'all. And the things y'all believe in ain't that positive. The aliens gonna come back and kill everybody and dumb shit like that. And you gotta ask yourself, why are you desperate to believe dumb things? Mind you, you boring as hell. Like, yeah, y'all ain't shit happening. So what is you talking about? And that you say, nah, they just bored. They ain't got much to do. They ain't finding something yet. They don't know what to do with themselves. So everybody's doing them for them. They're using their brain for them and things like that in the meanwhile. So be mindful of these things. Big Usia, signing out. Salam.